So now that net neutrality has been rolled back, the FCC is blocking a law enforcement investigation into suspected comment fraud, despite the fact that at least one actual senator was impersonated in what is just abundantly clear, rampant comment fraud in the lead up to the repeal of net neutrality by the FCC. So the backstory on this is that supposedly the FCC received just tons and tons of comments against net neutrality, or said a different way, the FCC received a ton of comments in favor of repealing net neutrality, which never really made sense. It didn't even pass the sniff test because we know that public opinion is overwhelmingly in favor of net neutrality. And you'd have to believe that the small portion of the population opposed to it was so strongly opposed to it that they, in insanely disproportionate numbers, were the ones writing to the FCC. Of course, the truth is that we've seen data analyses done by mathematicians, language analyses, and it appears that there was a major amount of fraud and fake comments supporting the repeal of net neutrality. Well, that's something we would want to investigate, right? Well, not according to the FCC. The FCC is blocking this investigation. You have New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, who's trying to investigate, but the FCC is not giving them anything. It's not giving them any of what they need to actually figure out what the hell happened here, to quote our fearless orange leader. Schneiderman wrote a letter saying that they're getting no help from the FCC. An FCC lawyer wrote back saying, yeah, we have no interest in helping law enforcement, period. They imply the entire investigation would be irrelevant anyway. And they're actually trying to use the argument of privacy, at least in part, to resist helping in this investigation. They said, listen, your staff has previously asked us to provide logs of IP addresses for some of these comments. If we give you IP addresses of public commenters, we would be potentially exposing their identity, which would be a privacy concern, which is hilarious that all of a sudden now the FCC's number one priority is privacy. In the meantime, just to put a fine point on just how insane this comment fraud situation is, Senator Jeff Merkley found out, he's a Democrat, he found out that he was impersonated during the FCC comment period, and that under his name, an anti-net neutrality comment was submitted, which is just insane because he's a public official with an on-the-record position in favor of net neutrality. He tweeted yesterday, turns out someone impersonated me during the FCC net neutrality comment period. Further proof of forged comment in this process. We need to get to the bottom of this and demand justice for those who sought to be heard. Check out the comment that was submitted under his name, which we'll put up on the screen for you here. Under his name, a comment was submitted where he supposedly said, the FCC's net neutrality rules were written in the Obama White House by political staff and tech industry special interests who overruled the FCC's own experts. The FCC's own chief economist, Tim Brennan, called the rules an economics-free zone. They should be repealed. That sure sounds like something Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley would say, huh? So what's the situation? Either this is some kind of troll, or this was done in such massive numbers, this comment fraud, that Merkley's identity was caught up alongside millions of others and used for these fraudulent comments. I don't know how his name in particular became wrapped up in this, but this is the real voter fraud that Republicans have been talking about. It's not people voting twice. It's not dead people voting in presidential elections. It's not Massachusetts voters being bussed into New Hampshire to vote for Hillary Clinton. It's millions of fake comments purporting to support net neutrality. The FCC here is functioning as if they're above the law. They shouldn't be above the law, and New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman will hopefully keep the pressure on here, and you can actually get involved here. I've said before, what we really need to do is vote them out, right? That's going to be the real way to reinstate net neutrality, and we'll talk after in the show about a couple other things that are going on, but you've got to vote them out. But in the interim, call your attorney general in your state. You can just Google, who is my attorney general, or use the link in the sources for the YouTube clip for this story. Call your attorney general and demand an investigation into this, because I assure you, even though it won't get net neutrality reinstated, if you can tie up the FCC with investigations by attorneys general nationwide, it's not going to be good for them. And that's exactly what we should be looking to do. The video you just finished watching was made possible by you through the membership program. You can sign up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. We are viewer-supported independent media. You can use the coupon code IVoted17 for a 40% discount off of your membership.